Ever wanted to explore an abandoned asylum?
No!
Yeah, me neither. But today, I did, and it wasn't what we expected at all. Mount Massive Asylum is supposed to be abandoned, but the truth is something very different, and we realized that the second we stepped inside. Something was already wrong, but I didn't go in alone.
Are you sure you want to do this?
And that didn't make it any easier. We pulled up to the asylum not really expecting much, and realizing that we're going to explore Mount Massive Asylum made us a bit hyper. So we wanted to get inside as soon as possible to get some good footage. Realizing that the door is locked makes us change our plan and actions, as we now have to find another way inside. Once inside, we use our camcorder's night vision and navigate through some dark hallways so that we can find our first battery and make our way to a room with a vent. And after making our way through the vent, we choose to open the door, which ends up jump scaring us. Afterwards, we go through the library and end up meeting a guy who advises us not to be here anymore. He says that we can use the security room to open the main door so that we can leave. So we immediately start making our way to the security room, but as soon as we open the door, we notice someone walking through. We already came this far, so we might as well try to get out of here now. But as soon as we try to walk through a little squeeze space, we get grabbed. Yo! After being thrown down a couple of floors by a big random monster, I don't think I want to be here anymore. So now our only objective is to get the fuck out of here. We start looking around for the security room, and while doing so, we end up running into another monster, picking up another battery, and making our way through another hallway where we end up in a room where people are staring at a static TV. Then we navigate through some more stuff, like going through another crawl space until we make it to room A114. Here we are able to pick up the key card to the security room. Afterwards, we immediately try backtracking, where we end up getting jump scared. And we finally make it to the security room, where we decide to sit down and try accessing the security system. While waiting for the system to get charged, we notice someone in one of the other cameras who ends up shutting off all of the power. And as soon as we are awake, we get the objective to restart the generator in the basement, and then we are told to hide in the locker and don't try to fight. And who better to break down the door than the guy from earlier? As soon as he leaves, we take this opportunity to make a run for it and look for the basement. While in the basement, we made it to what I could only assume to be the power room. And when trying to turn on the generator, we are told that we have to turn on 2 gas pumps and the main breaker. While looking around, we end up finding a room that contains one of the gas pumps. And as soon as we push it, we realize that we're not alone. But now we have to take precautionary steps in order to make it to pump 2. After pressing pump 2, now all we have to do is activate the main breaker. And after doing some more exploring, we end up making our way inside of the breaker room and pulling the main breaker switch. We also pick up another battery and start making our way back to the generator. Once we are back at the generator, we push the button to turn all the power back on. And then we are told to head back to the security room to open the main door. When we make it back to the security room, we try to open the main door, but we are stabbed in the neck with a syringe. I don't know much about the lore, but I'm guessing this has something to do with it. Whenever we decided to wake up, it looks like we woke up inside of a prison. Most of these people are a bit weird, and some of them are just ridiculous. Eventually, we find a way to escape via a hole through the wall. We start exploring hallways again until we make our way back to that part of the prison that has the little ledge that we can use to go across. And eventually, we make our way through the decontamination room, where we are told to follow blood to reach the exit. We head upstairs, where we are told to head down the drain. Once we are down here, we have to vault over this table and make our way through the hall so that we can reach the security room. But as soon as we open the security door, we end up getting chased.
What am I supposed to do? Help me! Brother, help me! Help me!
After getting chased, we make our way back to the security room so that we can push another button to open up another path that we can now use to maybe get the fuck out of here. Afterwards, we use this window to make it to the other side faster. Then we continue to follow the blood until we make it to the showers room, which requires a key card. So we go around looking for it until we step right into the middle of a public execution.
Damn!
Afterwards, we pick up the shower's key card and make our way back to the shower's room where we use the key card and we are finally told to exit through the showers. While doing so, we use this window so that we can cross the gap faster. While navigating through some more hallways, we end up making it to another security room where we push another button that opens another path. We end up having to use another vent, and after navigating through it, we drop down on the other side, and realizing that there's nowhere to go, we just end up dying.
Open that door! Open that door!
This time around, we did end up going the right way, but we ended up getting blown out of the window by an explosion. And once we wake up, we are told to find an alternate path to the showers. I'll be honest, we spent a lot of time navigating through a bunch of different hallways to get where we are now, so I'm probably just gonna skip over them, or else this video would be like 25 minutes long. Eventually, we made it to a drop down hole where we dropped down, and it doesn't seem like we made it to the showers. I think we made it to the sewers. Well, I was right, as we get the find a way out of the sewers objective. Eventually, we made it deeper in the sewers where we had to flush the water by turning the 2 valves. After squeezing through one of the squeeze spaces, we are able to go through a door and turn one of the valves. And on the other side, we are able to just close the door and start turning the other valve. Afterwards, we are told to use the ladder to access the lower junction. So we make a run for it, hoping that we could reach the ladder fast enough before we get caught. Real quick, before we continue, I just want to take a couple of minutes to say please drop a like and subscribe. I like to plug this in at this point in the video because by then you know if you're enjoying the video or not. These videos take a long time to make, so any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now let's get back into the video. At this point, we made it to a split path where we ended up choosing to go to the male ward. While making our way there, we used this door to make it through another dark place until we end up falling into some water. Here we pick up another battery, all while navigating through a bunch of water in order to make it to these stairs. But of course, we were getting chased the entire time. After climbing up a ladder, we end up getting chased, and after being hit, we decide to go left and take the path down until we end up in a tunnel where we have to go through another squeeze space and finally up some stairs to where we have to move over a crate so that we can access the crawl space, which allows us to open this door and make our way to another area where we have to move another crate so that we can open another door and head up inside of this room where we can jump on top of the bed and up inside of the vent. And after navigating through the vent, we make it to a room where a guy is just spazzing out. But what we didn't realize was the whole time we were just staring at him, they were breaking down the door. And without enough time on our hands to push the crate out of the way, we ended up dying. This time around, we were actually able to move the crate so that we could open the door, so that way we can make it to the other room where we could open the door and then close it right behind us and push the crate in front of it, which gave us just enough time to turn around and push this crate out of the way so that we could open this door. Unfortunately for us, it doesn't seem like our pursuers are giving up just yet, so we have no choice but to make a run for it. The easiest way for us to do so is to open the door and jump up inside of the vent, where we could then climb across. In this room, we had to vault a couple of objects before we were finally able to go across a plank, and eventually we made it to this room where we have to jump up and over so that we can finally make our way to the laundry chute. We ride the chute all the way up until we are finally ambushed by a random person we never seen before. When we wake up, we are in a wheelchair and we are shown the exit, probably so we can feel a sense of helplessness, so we know we're not escaping anytime soon. And then we are taken to some sort of bathroom where he sets up our camera and we end up getting relentlessly tortured. And I mean tortured so bad that we lost 2 of our fingers. Once he is done, we are finally able to free ourselves by moving left and right until we are finally able to break free from the chair. We pick up our camcorder and we start thinking about how we're gonna get out of here. We quickly start searching around until we notice that there's an elevator. In order to start the elevator, we need a key. After some time, we did end up finding the key to the elevator and finally ended up making our way back into the elevator where we used the key. And just when we thought everything was okay, we ended up getting attacked. Turns out this idiot ended up getting stuck in the elevator, and now we have to find yet again another way to escape.
Are you serious right now, bro?
The only way for us to go now is to open the elevator hatch and jump up. Once we do that, we start exploring again, where we end up meeting someone named Father Martin. Father Martin tells us to meet him outside, and without hesitation, we start looking for a way to get outside. While doing a bit of exploring, we come across this window which we use to jump inside a room full of fire. And while making our way through the room, we run into a guy who tells us that we should turn on the sprinkler system to extinguish the fire. Ultimately, we decide to make our way to the sprinkler room, where we notice that there's no water in this system and that we have to turn on 2 valves first before we can activate the sprinkler system. We make our way to the laundry room, where we could pull the first valve for the sprinkler system, and then we make our way all the way to the other side where we could pull the other sprinkler system valve. This part genuinely took ages for no reason whatsoever. I'm not even gonna lie, we even ended up getting stuck, and that just didn't make it any better. And I'm even sure I started crashing out because I was so annoyed.
Am I stuck, bro? You're trolling. You're trolling, bro. You're trolling. You're trolling. You're trolling.
Don't reply.
You're trolling.
Eventually, we are able to activate the sprinkler system, and then we get the objective to find Father Martin outside. So we start searching for a way to get outside, and along the way, we ended up getting jump scared. Our trail ends up leading to the exit door, but instead of leaving, we end up going to search for Father Martin again. Why the fuck did we not just leave? Why? While looking around outside, we end up finding a door that is locked. It requires a key for it to be open. So we go ahead and start looking for the key. And here we end up finding the key to the maintenance shed. We finally make our way back to the locked door and use the key to unlock it. While exploring, we end up running into a ghost. I don't know if the ghost kills you or not, so I just ended up running. After evading the ghost, we end up making it to a ladder that we have to use to climb up the side of the building. On top of the building, we have to do a bit of parkour to make it to the next area. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the combination of already being annoyed plus this just made it even worse. Trying to navigate a building without any lights is crazy, bro. I just ended up taking one for the team, and after about 15 minutes, I ended up making it to the next area. Oh, and guess who decided to come back? Again, after dodging and evading this fiend yet again, we make our way through the crawl space, and we are told to find Father Martin inside the female ward. In order to get inside, we climb up some stuff to get in through a window. And once we start exploring, we get the objective to use the upper floors to reach Father Martin. Eventually, we do end up finding the stairs that we can use to get up to Father Martin. And while exploring, we end up picking up a fuse for the laundry chute. We also ended up finding another fuse for the laundry chute. Then we make our way back to the fuse box to put both of them in. Realizing that we're missing one, we have no choice but to go back and find the last one. We end up finding the last fuse, so now we can head back to the fuse box and put it in. So now we can push the button to finally receive the key. But as soon as the chute opens, the key falls all the way down. So we make our way all the way back downstairs so that we can receive the key from the bottom of the chute. Afterwards, we finally make our way up to the 3rd floor, where we are told to follow the blood. At first, we have to cross over a gap, and then we end up jumping over another gap. And once we make it to the final gap, we almost end up falling, but we are safely able to catch ourselves. Unfortunately for us though, our camera ends up falling, so we still have to go down anyway. So we hop down and prepare for another long segment. In order to get our camera back, we have to jump down the floor. And once we are down here, we can finally pick up our camcorder. Unfortunately for us, it seems like our camcorder has been broken a bit during this fall. There's no time to dwell on it as we're actively being chased. And as of now, our only objective is to reach the 3rd floor. So we do have to backtrack a bit so that we can jump over the gap again, but this time we successfully make it across. All we have to do now is find Father Martin in the administration block. We end up having to do a bit more parkour before we can make it there though. And we also end up getting chased again. With quick thinking, we decide to jump up inside of the vent and quickly make our way through so that we could get to the other side. We come across a door that requires a key to be open, and then we are hit with the objective to retrieve the key from the recreation hall. The original way to the recreation hall is locked, so we have to use this drop down space to get there. Then we have to turn around and go up the ladder. Most of this area we didn't really do anything, so I'm probably gonna cut a lot of this part out. Eventually we did end up finding a key, and now we are tasked with the objective to find Father Martin on the 3rd floor. And after making our way back up, we are finally able to access the 3rd floor. On the 3rd floor, we find another elevator that requires a key, but we also end up reuniting with Father Martin, and this time when we reunite with him, it's not like anything we ever expected. We did end up picking up the key for the elevator, but I don't know what the fuck Father Martin got going on, but after his hour-long yap session, he just ends up burning himself to death on the cross. After Father Martin's death, we make our way back to the elevator where we use the key to take the lift to the main exit. But instead of going to the main exit, we ended up going down a bunch more floors, all the way until we make it to the bottom floor where it tells us to find another way out. These floors look exactly like the ones from the security footage that we watched at the very beginning of this whole entire game. And down on these floors, we end up getting chased by the ghost again. I really want to know the lore to this game, so please leave it down in the comments because I'm getting very confused. We decide to open this door while evading the ghost and get jump scared. Just before we die, the ghost ends up saving us by killing off this guy once and for all. I don't know why the ghost was chasing us if he was just gonna help us in the end. That doesn't really make any sense. But then again, maybe he wasn't helping us. Maybe he's just obsessive and wants to kill us off himself. After listening to this guy yap for another hour, we are given a task to find Billy in the main laboratory. And once we make it into the main laboratory, we are tasked with turning off the valve for the life support fluid, which I'm gonna guess is Billy. So we shut off the valve for the life support fluid, and then we end up getting the objective to cut off the electric supply. Then on the other side, we end up cutting off the electric supply. Now we are tasked with disabling Billy's life pod. And once we make it back to the main laboratory, we are able to disable his pod. But just before we are finally able to finish everything, the ghost takes one more attempt at finishing us. And I guess that it realizes that it's too late, as it just ends up possessing us instead. With our last ounce of energy left, we are determined to escape, so we push forward to make it to the exit. And as soon as we make it to the exit, we are shot dead. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It genuinely was so fun to make. But of course, this isn't the end of Outlast 1. We still have Whistleblower DLC. If you guys want me to come back and play that, spam in the comment section down below. But until then, I guess I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Go play this game right now.